April 2nd, 2025. Calling this one build up or warning. I guess that's the way we're going to call it. It's not a lot, but not a little. There's, Tuesdays and Wednesdays are always kind of slower on the intel, if you will, but there's some good stuff. I mean, I don't want to say good, but there's some interesting stuff in here, and so we are going to take you all through it. Thanks for being here. It is much easier on me to do it this way, so we're going to keep going. But if you could hit that like button, do the subscribe thing, darken out the bell, yada, 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 that'd be great. So hopefully you get, look at that, my homeboy's up. Yes, we're going to talk about that, my friend. A lot of rumblings out there. So good to know my people are already up and sharing the comments and thoughts. So let's get started. I appreciate you. And yep, as long as there's a good 5x5, looks like there's a good morning from people. This is my other set of headphones, so this might be a little bit different sounding, but hopefully not terrible. Yada, yada, yada. Some random dude, how are you? Hopefully you are well, and let's get going. Good morning. This is your crisis report for April 2nd, 2025. Here we go. Last night, in a joint military operation without our allies from the United States, transferred 17 extremely dangerous criminals linked to Tren de Aragua and MS-13. All individuals are confirmed murderers and high-profile offenders, including some things that I can't say here. This operation is another step in the fight against terror and organized crime. Hey, but let's get one of our judges to get them to come on back to America, because they might be like a dentist or a engineer, because all that's what they are. All the people that come to America are all highly educated, good people. So, yeah. Israel to begin building $1.4 billion border barrier with Jordan. Israel will begin building a long-promised new fence along the border with Jordan in June. Times of Israel has learned the work is expected to take 3 years. The fence will run from Hamat Gader in the southern edge of the Golan Heights to the Ramon International Airport north of Eilat, 30-kilometer portion of the border with Jordan from Eilat to Ramon Airport, already upgraded in a similar fashion to Israel's border barriers with Egypt and Gaza in the 2010s. Woman saved in Myanmar capital after trapped in the quake for 91 hours, according to fire services. It's good. They're trying to do a ceasefire, but I think the rebels have broken that. I didn't really cover it, but on that note right there, there was hope that a ceasefire, because the whole country's in a mess, that they would stop fighting, but it seems that that's not going to hold, and they're going to continue to fight. Iran warns it could develop nuclear weapons if the United States attacks and will target the 50,000 U.S. soldiers in the Middle East. If the U.S. makes a mistake on Iran's nuclear issue, it will leave it with no choice but to develop nuclear weapons, even though Tehran itself has repeatedly stated that it does not plan to do so. Ali Larijani, an advisor to the Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei and a member of the Assembly of Determining State Expediency of Decisions, I guess that's like their big Islamic brain. Although also the commander of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps Air Force, Amir Ali Hajjazeh, issued a threat to the United States, stating that about 50,000 American servicemen in the range of the Iranian missiles, and that the U.S. has dozens of bases and 50,000 soldiers in our region. They are in a glass room, and those who live in a glass should not throw stones. Let us recall that Trump earlier threatened Iran with massive bombings if Tehran refuses the nuclear deal. Donald Trump has endorsed Randy Fine for 2025's Florida 1st Congressional District special election. Randy Fine is my complete and total endorsement. I think that went well for him. They lost the Supreme Court thing in Wisconsin, but they got a voter ID law on there, and they won both in Florida. So 3 out of 4 ain't bad. China begins naval blockade drills on Taiwan. China's military aid, it had sent its army, navy, and rocket forces to surround Taiwan for drills it said were aimed at practicing a blockade of the self-ruled island. China's also warned Taiwan's independence means war as launches drills around the island. U.S. CENTCOM Commander Michael Kurilla is now meeting with Israeli Chief of Staff Eyal Zamir in the underground military bunker in Tel Aviv. Things are about to get serious. After Epstein victim Virginia Giuffre claimed she was 4 days to live following a severe traffic accident, Western Australia police reported that a bus and a car were involved in a minor crash on March 24th with no injuries. So people are kind of wondering what the heck that's about. Russian government warns the United States that attacking Iran could lead to consequences. Last of the 4 United States soldiers missing in Lithuania since last week was on Tuesday. They were also found dead. He was also found dead, the U.S. Army said, without providing additional details. Mass layoffs began at the major U.S. health agencies on Tuesday as the Trump administration embarks on a major restructuring that will cost 10,000 jobs. China launches military drills in Taiwan Strait, according to state media. Republican Jimmy Patronis wins the special election to U.S. House in Florida's 1st congressional district. Wisconsin voters decided to enshrine a voter ID law in the state constitution. That's good. Susan Crawford won the Wisconsin Supreme Court race, according to NBC. China says it practiced hitting key ports, energy sites in Taiwan drills. Large-scale attack on Iran will begin soon, an unprecedented assault since World War II. United States Attorney General Pam Bondi announces that she has instructed federal prosecutors to seek the death penalty in the case against Luigi Mangione, who murdered United Healthcare CEO Brian Thompson last December 2024 in New York City. United States CENTCOM Commander has met with Israeli military leadership. U.S. CENTCOM Commander Michael Kurilla is currently meeting with Israeli Chief of Staff Eyal Zamir, Kiryat underground bunker, military base, Tel Aviv. High-level meeting suggests a serious escalation in military coordination between the U.S. and Israel. State of Israel eliminated all tariffs on U.S. goods to avoid President Trump's reciprocal tariffs. That's all people have to do. Everybody's freaking out about tariffs. Like, just remove your tariffs. That's why he's doing it. No tariffs on us, no tariffs on you. It's pretty simple. You want free trade? Let's make actual free trade. Relentless. United States Air Force C-17 military cargo planes are flooding into Al Udeid military base, Qatar. Tensions with Iran grow. Netanyahu's office, Israel, has lifted all tariffs imposed on United States products. United States Navy has intercepted Houthi-launched ballistic missiles over Saudi Arabia. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps is claiming to have attacked and seized 2 oil tankers today in the Persian Gulf, which they claim were part of the fuel smuggling network in the Gulf. 2 tankers identified as STAR-1 and Vintage were captured during a naval operation by the IRGC earlier today, with 25 crew members being arrested while the tankers are transferred to an oil port in the city of Bushehr, where their fuel will be offloaded and seized by Iran. One of the tankers is believed to be owned and operated by the United Arab Emirates, while the other is currently unknown. KAN News says the commander of the U.S. Central Command arrived. Israel, 10 hours of discussion on leaders about Iran and the Houthis. Trump has signed off on Keir Starmer's deal to hand the vital Diego Garcia military base over to Chinese proxy Mauritius. U.S. airstrike targets energy facility in Al-Mansouriya, Al-Hudaydah region, Houthi-controlled western Yemen. This one intrigues me. This one kind of got past me. So I don't know if they would hand off the Diego Garcia military base to Mauritius. So there might be something wrong with that one. Spanish internal security forces arrested today at Hezbollah cell operating in Barcelona. According to a Spanish security source, all 5 cell members belong to Hezbollah and all are Shiite. Their mission is to provide logistics assistance for manufacturing drones and their accessories. According to civil guard sources, the operation is still ongoing and multiple records are being made. There are 3 detainees in Barcelona for the moment. This would be the second phase of an operation that the Armed Institute launched in July last year, also in Barcelona. U.S. airstrikes have resumed in Sa'ada, northern Yemen, stronghold of Ansarallah. Pentagon, U.S. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has ordered additional Air Force's assets, strengthen military situation in the Middle East. Democrat Senator filibustering the Senate chamber for 24 hours. Cory Booker, a Democratic senator from New Jersey, is about to break all-time record of the longest filibuster in U.S. Senate history. Current record holder is Strom Thurmond, who filibustered the Civil Rights Act of 1957 for 24 hours and 18 minutes. If Booker holds out until 7 p.m. Eastern, he will be the first to break that record in 68 years. United States has been pulling air defenses such as THAAD and Patriot from other theaters, moving them into U.S. Armed Forces CENTCOM via airlift for the last few days. Movements have been tracked, and the news has now been confirmed by NBC. NBC says, amid rising tensions with Iran and ongoing strikes against Yemen, Patriot THAAD missile batteries moving Indo-Pac to CENTCOM. Over the past 48 hours, multiple United States Air Force cargo planes have been flying in and out of South Korea. 10 C-17, these are the Globemasters, have landed in Osan Air Base. They continue to Ramstein Air Base in Germany, Al Udeid Air Base in Qatar. Movement of the air defense systems typically requires a large number of cargo planes, with 6 to 7 needed to transport the trucks and up to 15 for ammunition and spare equipment. DOJ will pursue the death penalty for Luigi Mangione, alleged killer of United Healthcare CEO. All local workers and U.S. diplomats are set to be fired from USAID. Major shakeup. Staffer for Democrat Senator Cory Booker arrested for possessing a firearm on the Capitol grounds. Pentagon orders additional squadrons and air units in the Middle East, extends the deployment of the Harry S. Truman Carrier Strike Group, or CSG, deploys the Carl Vinson Carrier Strike Group in the region. Senator Cory Booker has set a new record for the longest Senate speech, surpassing previous one held by Strom Thurmond. Hunter Biden to permanently stripped of D.C. law license. Fox News claims that negotiations between the U.S. and Russia are failing. Source familiar with the discussions tells Fox News that President Trump is frustrated with Putin and believes Russia is slow-rolling comprehensive ceasefire talks. Trump believes Putin is stalling admin, eyeing aggressive sanctions enforcement, including Russian shadow fleet. 7th B-2 bomber is still grounded at HNL, Hawaii, while the other 6 have made it to Diego Garcia. B-2 is reportedly damaged and undergoing repairs. We have reports from Turkey. The Turkish army has begun moves to take control of the T4 base in the Tezmor area in Syria. According to the report, the move is intended to intensify the fight against ISIS and deter Israeli strikes in Syria. New Syrian government is working to open back channels with Israel, aiming to pave the way for possible normalization efforts backed by Saudi Arabia. There we go. Israel issues ultimatum to Hamas, says there is a date for the occupation of the Gaza Strip. Our patience is not endless. Last night's precise Israeli airstrike in Beirut targeted a senior operative involved in a joint Hamas-Hezbollah plot to attack Israelis globally, likely stopping one of the largest planned terror attacks in years and saving hundreds of lives. The plan was to attack an Israeli airliner in Cyprus. 48% of 18 to 24-year-olds, Americans, support Hamas over Israel, per Harvard-Harris polling as of March 2025. So this is Amir adding his conjecture. He says that CCP-controlled TikTok has poisoned the minds of America's youth. So, elements of the Turkish armed forces reportedly arrived today at the T4 airbase and Palmyra military airfield in Homs Governorate, central Syria, which both were targeted recently by the Israeli Air Force, according to senior Turkish defense officials. S-400 and Hisar-O surface-to-air missile batteries will be deployed to the bases alongside long-range strike drones as Turkey plans to increase strikes against ISIS and to deter further strikes against Syria by Israel. Houthis say they have targeted the USS Harry S. Truman 3 times in the last 24 hours. This and other ships in the Red Sea were attacked using cruise missiles, drones, Yemen's Ansar Allah movement said. This operation will not stop until the aggression against Gaza Strip and the blockade has been lifted. That's according to Houthi military spokesman Yahya Sareh, who stated all those things. NBC says, amidst rising tensions with Iran and ongoing strikes on the Houthis, 2 Patriot batteries, 1 THAAD battery have been transferred from Indo-Pac to CENTCOM. Shares of conservative cable news channel Newsmax have skyrocketed more than 2,000% in the last 2 days since it began trading in New York, pushing the firm's market value about $26 billion. It is almost as if people have a more conservative mindset, and then if you have a media company that maybe caters to different people, hindering that people on the right side of politics and conservative thoughts might not need to be suppressed so much and might actually make you money. Is someone picking up what we're putting down? Maybe it's because leftism is seen as insane. Russia rejects U.S. demands in negotiations, as I already wrote that will happen. Russia says cannot accept U.S. proposals to end the war in Ukraine in their current form because they do not address the problems that cause the conflicts, signaling that ceasefire talks are stalled. Deputy Foreign Minister Sergei Ryabkov said Russia and the United States have so far failed to bridge the differences that Vladimir Putin outlined more than 2 weeks ago when he said the U.S. proposals should be revised. Western intelligence source to the Post says Turkey aims to activate the Syrian T4 airbase. Turkish-Syrian connection has been tightening recently, including in the military field. A Western intelligence source told the Jerusalem Post Turkey wants to become Syria's air defense provider, in part by establishing a presence in the T4 base, which was active during Assad's regime. Kiev does not comply with the moratorium and continues to strike Russian energy infrastructure on a daily basis. That is according to the Kremlin. And the Trump administration is considering Iran's offer for indirect nuclear talks while boosting military force in the region to maintain both diplomatic and deterrent pressure. Trump has given Iran a vague 2-month deadline to strike a deal. That is coming up pretty soon with that deadline. So, Trump's method and madness is peace through strength. By building up all that stuff on Diego Garcia, he's basically trying to tell them that they shouldn't try it. And so, personally, what I think he's doing is he's putting it all out there, and he's going to keep going after the Houthis because they are the big problem right now in that area, and really drop the hammer on them, which will alleviate the pressure. I don't think anybody really wants a war with Iran. It won't be as easy as some people think. So I think there's a peace through strength kind of action that is going on to kind of secure the region, drop the hammer on the Houthis, and send a warning to Iran, who will hopefully take the offer for indirect nuclear talks and go the peaceful route. That's what I'm hoping for. We don't want any more war in the Middle East. We don't want any more. This is enough for now. Dropping the hammer on the Houthis is quite all right. As for Russia and Ukraine, well, they're kind of still in a holding pattern. I'm sure Putin is stalling, all of that. My big worry is if there is an attack in the Middle East on Iran, then what you could see is the Chinese really consider going after Taiwan. I think they're really kind of out there saying, not saying this, but just basically biding their time that they might actually drop, it just would provide the perfect timing for it. So there's a lot of working parts. I'm not full on that we're going to go to the next level right now. I think that will eventually happen. But I think right now things are kind of still in setup mode. Logistics, as they say. All right, friends, God bless. Appreciate you being here. Hit the like button. Do the subscribe thing if you are new here. Darken out the bell. Get the notifications. We are here about 6:30 a.m. every day, Monday through Friday. And then Saturday, Sunday, we kind of go in the afternoon. This is your Crisis Report, your most comprehensive news on YouTube. We appreciate y'all being here. Check out the sister channel, PrepperNow. Consider becoming a member like some random dude and others who are very supportive of the channel. We appreciate you. Then, of course, there is Subscribestar and Locals, to which I will be posting a lot today. And that's a few dollars a month. Get the stuff that gets you kicked off of Facebook for. And then there's GabMine, Twitter, X, and True Social, where we post as well every so often. God bless you all. Folks, keep prepping, okay? It's not, things aren't going to just start to suddenly calm down. It's a general escalation due to logistics. Have a great day.